The scene that I'm about to show you is a perfect example of how everything Victor's been doing since he was introduced into this story has been directly in service of the entity in control of the monsters.
I need to find the Lake of Tears. It's a lake with magical powers. I thought I made it up, but my dad told me it's here. It can make people better when they're hurt. Once I find it, maybe he'll come back.
What we see here is massive, absolutely huge for us to understand how badly we have been played by the evil forces living in the town of Fromville. As what happens in this interaction between Ethan and Victor is an incredibly relevant clue and a very significant hint in how we know with 100% certainty that everything Victor knows and every piece of information that he has given to the people of this town has been exactly what the entity in control of the monsters wanted him to do. Because what I want you to really remember here is that we have literally already seen that Victor has made drawings of both the spider coming down from the ceiling and the Lake of Tears that Ethan dreamt about while in the RV. The reason why this matters so much is that it's one of the very many clues that the Lake of Tears is not something that was created by Fromland using Ethan's imagination, but that it already existed in the town before Ethan even arrived, and therefore that the information about its existence was placed into Ethan's mind by the entity in control of the monsters. And this directly ties into how we know that the entire reason why Victor has been allowed to live by the entity is because he is using Victor to mislead the people of the town, which is why what I'm about to show you matters so much.
Ethan, you promised if I brought you here, you would tell me.
It's not what I'm looking for.
How do you know that?
I just do.
How long have you been here?
Just had my 1-year anniversary.
Is there water nearby? Like a pond or a lake?
These two scenes are really important for us to not only start to gain an understanding of where this story will be going moving forward, as well as why whatever Victor's role actually is in the town is also clearly in service of the monsters, as this interaction between Elgin and Fatima is absolutely key for us to truly start to comprehend just how wide and vast the incredibly complex network used by the entity to manipulate the people of this town really is. Because what I want you to notice here is that Elgin, just like Ethan, has already previously seen the Lake of Tears. That's why, just like with Ethan and Victor, Elgin was asking Fatima if there was a body of water, possibly a lake, in Fromville. And do you know what this means? It means that the Lake of Tears was not created by Fromville from Ethan's imagination, something obviously supported by the fact that Victor already made drawings of the spider coming down from the ceiling in the Lake of Tears, likely years, possibly even decades before Ethan even came into the town. And therefore, that the idea of the Lake of Tears was implanted into the brains of Elgin and Ethan by an external force that already existed in the town. And this is even more proof of exactly what we have known for a very long time, that Victor's memories have been deleted, erased, and replaced with fake memories inserted into his brain by the entity in control of the monsters, also known as the Boy in White, which is why this next scene matters so much.
No, it wasn't Jasper. It was the boy in white. Everything lied here. The boy in white was trying to tell Christopher that to save the children, he would have to go through the tree. I told my mother what the boy in white said. That's why she left us.
This moment right here is absolutely crucial for us to even start to understand what role Victor actually plays in the game of Fromville and why everything that he does is clearly in favor and only beneficial to the evil forces living in the town, which is the only reason why they have allowed him to live in this town for as long as he has. Because what the writers were really trying to tell us in this moment with Victor being witness to what happened with Christopher and the Boy in White is that his memories have been strategically deleted and therefore edited so that he can lead the people of the town down a very specific path. Like, even when you think about it, how did Tabitha even know about the lighthouse in the first place? It was Victor who told her that his sister told him that's where their mother went and not where she was going the night of the massacre to supposedly save the children locked in the tower. The reason why this distinction is important is that Victor tells his dad that he found his sister torn to pieces after the night of the massacre. So she literally could not have been the one who told him where their mother went because his sister was already dead the next time that he saw her after she left the root cellar. And this is even after ignoring the fact that Victor was the one who told his mother about going to the borrow tree to get to the children locked in the tower in the first place. And the reason why Victor's stories are so inconsistent is because more than likely his brain has been wiped and erased multiple times by the Boy in White. It's obvious that's the case because we literally saw the Boy in White luring Tabitha by changing his voice to sound like the Ankui children so that Tabitha would climb to the top of the lighthouse. Like, just watch what I'm about to show you. Like, the only reason it was even possible for the Boy in White to lure Tabitha to the top of the lighthouse by changing his voice to sound like the Ankui children is first and foremost because Victor himself told Tabitha about going into the borrow tree and that there were supposedly children locked in the tower. And we literally saw that there were no children locked in the tower, which directly means that the memories that have been inserted into Victor's brain serve the purpose of deceiving the people of the town into going into pointless quests that only serve one very specific purpose. Because Tabitha clearly was not sent to the lighthouse to free the children locked in the tower. The point of sending her there was so that the boy in white could use the lighthouse as a smokescreen to send Tabitha to what is supposedly Camden, Maine, so that she could see the paintings and ultimately bring Victor's dad back to the town. It was never about showing her the way out of Fromland. That was never the point of sending Tabitha to Camden, Maine. Like, the writers have literally already inserted dialogue into the story that tells us exactly why Tabitha was sent there and what was accomplished by her return to the town. And this is why you really need to pay attention to what I'm about to show you next.
We're in the diner right now. We're trying to figure out what it means that my mom got out.
What do you think it means?
Honestly, I don't think it means anything. Best would make us suffer is to give us hope. Maybe that's why I let her out.
It's not your fear that feeds the forest boy. It's hope.
Now, what we see here is really important for us to start to really understand the depths of the manipulation that we are being put through by the entity in control of the monsters. But more importantly, we are only now starting to see what role Victor actually plays in the story of Fromville and exactly why the evil forces of Fromland have allowed him to live in the town for as long as he has. It's because Victor plays a very crucial part in the entity's strategy to destroy the people of this town. Because we already know for a fact that the entity is feeding on the suffering of the people of the town, but what way too many people seem to miss is that you never truly know pain and despair if you never have hope that you could win and persevere against your problems in the first place. Basically, what I'm saying is the level of hope that you feel is directly proportional to the amount of emotional pain you're going to experience when the rug is pulled out from under your feet. And this is why the boy in white does what he does. He sends us on quests that are ultimately meaningless so that when he takes it away, you're going to feel a tremendous level of despair that is much higher than you would have felt otherwise. And this explains why he allows Victor to live, so that he can use him to give the people of the town hope that they can actually win, when in reality, the game is completely rigged in favor of the evil forces living in the town. And this is why this next scene matters so much for us to gain an understanding of what's really happening in this town.
Will that tree take me back to the lighthouse?
I don't think so.
You told me it was the only way.
That was before.
Okay, you need to stop talking in riddles.
You're getting so close now.
This scene between Tabitha and the boy in white is very important for us to be able to determine what the real motivations of the boy actually are. Because I really want you to remember that the boy was already there at the top of the lighthouse before Tabitha arrived, which means that he has precise control over where the faraway trees send people. This is something we know for a fact because there hasn't been a single successful tree teleportation that has happened without him showing up either directly before or after it happens. So what I'm saying is that he's clearly lying when he says that he doesn't know where the bottle tree would send Tabitha. He doesn't give direct answers because he isn't trying to help them get out. His entire thing is to give the people of the town hope that they can win. He's just going to keep doing that endlessly. That's why even here, he's just speaking in meaningless and pointless riddles and telling Tabitha that she's supposedly very close to finding answers. And even when you think about it, there's literally almost 30 different Nightwalkers living in this town, and there were multiple years where Victor was completely living alone with the boy in white as his only friend. So there's literally no possible way that Victor could have survived in this town if he wasn't working for the monsters. Like, it's crazy how in denial people are about this because it's so obvious. Literally everybody who's ever stepped foot in this town has been killed by the entity in control of the monsters. And Victor specifically just happens to survive 40 years without ever being attacked by any of the monsters, and yet people still don't want to admit the obvious. Victor is obviously working for the monsters. We already know this for a fact. Like, I want you to ask yourself a very simple question. Why hasn't the man in yellow killed Victor at any point in the past 40 years? If there was anything, literally anything about Victor that was a threat to the evil forces living in the town, he would have been taken out literally decades ago. Like, did you see what happened to Jim Matthews and how quickly they dispatched of him? That is what happens to someone who is a threat to the entity in control of the monsters. But when you look at how Victor is treated by the town, the fact that they're giving him peaches for decades, and that the Nightwalkers, the Music Box, the Cicadas, every single monster in this town, all of them have continuously chosen to not attack him. And that means, logically, that everything Victor is doing and telling the people of the town is in favor of the evil forces living in the town. If they wanted him to be taken out, he would have been taken out. That's how the town deals with people who are a problem. Just the fact that they have allowed him to live in this town for 40 years. Deep down, all of us, we already know what's going on with him. Some people are just not ready to accept it, but we already know. I mean, the only other possible alternative for Victor is that he is the one in control of the monsters. There's only two options here, and way too many people are in denial about what's going on with him. Like, even when you look at Victor's dad, it's pretty obvious that the entire reason Tabitha was sent to the outside world was to bring him back to the town. And that makes sense, because he's obviously the same being as the boy in white, which is something that I talked about extensively before. So go watch this video right here. See my explanation on why the crows are obviously evil and working with Victor's dad to destroy the people of this town.